This is Minovate, and I am going to delay the next episode a little bit because once I got started on it, the main segment I've been working on ended up taking up pretty much the entire episode, and I didn't really get as far in the overall project as I wanted to. So rather than having a singular event of an episode, I thought I'd release it as a standalone tutorial. Please follow along, and I hope you enjoy. So, the redstone that we are putting in has a footprint that needs to be 6 down from here, which is going to be my base because I want it to line up with the entrance of the stables. So that's my base, and it needs to be 6 down from that, 5 wide, and 11 long. So hold while I dig that out real quick. Now this design was sent to me by Red Ore, and he's recently been doing some crazy contraptions on his channel, including making a playable Connect 4 game and a playable Snake game in Minecraft using only redstone. So I do encourage you to go check him out. But now I am not a redstoner, so I'm going to do my best to follow along and build this up layer by layer in a way that you can follow along it well if you like. But be warned, I'm giving this like a 50-50 chance that it works. So start with 4 blue wool here, light blue wool, right along the inside of our footprint, 1 away from the wall. Next, we are coming in with some orange wool, and we do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then jut it out 1 like this, and then skip 1 space. We do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1 right there. And that's our first layout, and I believe there's no real functional thing for different colored wools, but that just seems to be a redstoner trick to keep track of different circuits as they are building and designing. But I am going to keep it because it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to continue to follow along. Next, we need to lay down some lines of redstone dust across all the blue, and right there, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 on that orange line. And then on these 2 spots, we are going to place a repeater here facing that way, and a repeater here facing that way. And both of these should be clicked on once. There's our initial redstone lines down. Alright, and I added 2 dirt here just to make it easier to place this first line of sticky pistons. Now we can take those out. We don't need those there anymore. Now, oops, we need a sticky piston right there. Didn't mean to put that one there. And then over here on this side, we want a sticky piston facing towards us to that back side of, or the front side of the orange redstone. Next, we need to bring in some observers. That is backwards. We need it so that the pulse is actually going to power this line here. So let's turn this around. And let's try that again, shall we? All right, there we go. That one is now correct. And then over here, and I am noticing, even though the footprint of the design, I did not account for movements. So on this one, we need to make 2 quick changes. 1, I need to come down here because I did it again. Nope, that's wrong. I did it again. I put this on backwards. Let's take this back off, and we will try again. Let's try this again. Alright. We want the signal to go up. But we're also going to need to give this room to allow the sticky piston to push the observer back and forth. So we're just going to clear out just a little bit of a well right here. And of course we're going to be building around all of this later, so we're not too concerned about what the surrounding terrain looks like just yet. Now we're coming back in here with our orange wool line. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one right in front of that repeater. Now on the other side of this repeater, we are putting in a target block. Followed by some green wool to connect up to this repeater. And 2 green wool on this side as well. And finally 1 light blue wool coming up here. So here's our second layer laid out. Now let's connect it up with some additional redstone lines. So 1 redstone on top of that block, 2 redstone above this green, some redstone lines on top following this yellow, green, and orange. Oh, I missed one thing. Place a piece of orange glass at the end of this orange line of wool. And on the side, instead of a redstone line, we are going to connect this up with some powered rails. And that should be our redstone line for the second layer. Now let's see about connecting this up for layer number 3. Now let's start with an orange wool here to break that redstone connection from here to there. Oops. And then we will continue placing 2, 3, and 4 orange wool down. Now on this back side, we just want 1 orange wool right on top of that observer. And again, we don't want this redstone line connecting to that one down there. So 2 blue wool will disconnect that. You do want to keep that connection though. And now we're going to continue this blue circuit by using blue stained glass going forward. Next, we are going to be placing our sticky pistons across here. So we have the 4 that we already had in the middle. Plus we now want 2 more on that side. And 2 more on that side, giving you a total of 8 sticky pistons all the way across. And of course, we want them all facing up. There you go. And again, that's the 4 in the middle that was double stacked, plus we added 2 more on either side, giving us a total of 8 sticky pistons across. Next, on this side with our powered rail, we are going to be putting out some more observers. Now we want them to be observing this power rail and powering this pistons. So can I just, you know what? How am I going to do this? Okay, let's have those first turn right. Let's try this one more time. I want to get it right here, so I want 4 of them. Come on. I placed the wrong one again. But did this one at least place correctly? Yeah, there we go. That one placed correctly. So you just gotta be careful to be facing this direction. That one go in the right direction. Yep, there we go. Let's try doing that again. Careful. And now we're getting it. And one more. There we go. Now let's just get rid of these ones I placed by accident. There we go. 4 observers observing this powered rail to power the pistons behind them. And then this backside, we are putting down another line of redstone. And on our glass elevator here, boom, boom, redstoning that up. Redstone on the blue glass right there. And now the third layer is done. Let's get a quick look around at this for anybody who might be following along at home. Let's make sure we are all the same. Alright, and now our lower level layer is almost done. So let's start with 8 more sticky pistons running along here. Oops. Just got another misclick there. So we'll just clean up the one I put it down by accident. Now looking for a couple more observers. So observing this redstone line, setting the signal up. And observing this green redstone line, again, setting the signal up. And that is all there is for that layer. Now typically these kind of designs will use gravel, but I thought it might look a little bit nicer to use powdered concrete, light gray. Or maybe a darker gray might have worked better as well. But that is just an aesthetic design choice that I am making. Now after you put in one line of gravel on top of your observers, put in your green wool circuit right there. And right there. And between this green wool circuit, we are putting observers in. Again, observing the redstone signal down with their signal coming up. And on top of these observers, we are going to put in 4 orange wool for our last orange circuit. And then we're just going to fill up our gravel up to our baseline here. Just like that. All the way up until it matches where we decided our base of our bridge was going to be. And that will be the bottom half of this castle gate. Now, I'm sure you can probably already see the similarities to other castle gates that have been done before, and that's okay, because we have not yet shown what we are doing to make this one slightly more unique than the existing designs that we were finding out there that had one little detail that I kind of wanted to not have in mind. Oh, and of course, one other thing. I almost forgot to extend this blue glass circuit up to the top. And with some redstone on each level. And with the last of the redstone on the blue glass circuit, we now have the lower mechanism complete. Now from here I've added some dirt blocks as backdrop just to make it easy to place this. this light blue glass line needs to go up for 6 more levels following the same pattern. So 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. Now let's go get some redstone on there. Okay, so here we are. I needed to use some dirt as scaffolding just so I can get up here. And just like that, we have run our redstone line on the blue circuit up to the top where it will have the control mechanism for closing the gate. Now, I think I said this before, but this does look like it's a standard gravel with fence post type castle gate. But stick with me, I do have a twist that is coming. So now our fence gates, we want to be 5 high. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right up there. There we go. Now that that is in place, let us work on our return mechanism. Now I've taken the time to get some proper scaffolding blocks just to make it easier to go up and down here. But the closing mechanism is going to be used with normal pistons, and I was afraid of that. And we need to have them facing down. And now here is where you're going to start seeing that the design is different than what previous castle gate designs you have seen before. Alright, let's try that again. Coming out here, looking up as much as we can. We want to put it right. Come on, it's not looking up enough. Alright, third time's the charm. As close as we can. There we go, upside down. Exactly where we want it. Now you get 2 on this side and 2 on that side, and we're using the dirt to make it easier to place, but that's going to be removed. We want 2 downward pistons, 2 downward pistons, and nothing in between. Okay, that was a lot easier than I made it out to be the first time. 2 tries. Now the next set of pistons, you're going to be this 4 in the gap, except instead of being right along there, as you might be expecting, we want to put it, let's see, how am I going to do this? Here. We're going to put it right along here. Let's get rid of some filler blocks. And complete this yellow circuit. If this is my backside facing my base where I have the blue circuit coming up, these yellow circuit will need to be on the front side of the build. And then there you just take your downward pistons and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. And then on top of the yellow circuit wool, just a line of redstone dust. And now the next level of our pistons is going to be very similar, except we're going to put our yellow wool on the opposite side. So now for this next layer, our yellow wool goes on the opposite side of this one, which would, in our case, is the back of the gate that faces towards the base. And again, we only want 2 on either side, leaving the 4 in the middle open. And then bump up, redstone on that. And we now need to put Let's get rid of our dirt we put out there just to make it easier to put up these. And now we want to put pistons, facing down on the backside. And I almost forgot, this is the level to continue our blue circuit that was coming up here with one more blue glass, now centered more towards the center, and a bit of blue wool next to it. And let's put a line of redstone dust on top of both of these with a bop and a bop. And now there is a switch here that we are going to make with a piston and a redstone block. Now I placed a bit of dirt here to make it easier to place this sticky piston pointing up, and on top of that sticky piston, a redstone block. There we go. And now the next thing is I need to put some downward facing pistons on these two and these two. So now just coming up from underneath, getting as close as we can, and perfect, 2 downward facing pistons. And one more time for good measure. Boom, first try. Okay, now next, on the same side that had the 2 yellow wool, you want to continue that circuit up by 1 and have 4 wool in between. And then go ahead and put down a redstone line that connects across this. Now next, I need to put upside down pistons all along this yellow wool. This might be a little tricky given my angle. I want to adjust my scaffolding here a little bit to make it a little easier to do this. Alright, I think I might have to take out this yellow wool line just so I can get into place to put up these pistons, and then I'll put this yellow wool line back. Alright, try this again. There we go. 2, 3, and 4. And now to put my wool line back. Now that I have my yellow wool line back on this 4th piston, I want an observer observing up with a signal pointing down into this last bit of redstone line. So you get that just by coming over here and going pop, just like that. So when this observer goes off, the signal comes down and hits this red line, activating these pistons. Now to finish up our blue circuit, we're going to do 1 wool off of that redstone block, and then make it 2 wide and 3 long, just like that. And then 1 more on top of there. Oops, not that one. And then to finish the circuit, you put a comparator facing away from our redstone block. Second comparator facing into this 1 wool block that's sticking up. And then you take the redstone dust to go pop, pop, pop. And bring that around. There we go. And our blue circuit is now done. Now we want to do 1 more set of these pistons where we have the 2 on the side and the 4 on the top that are up by 1. So I just got to get down a little bit lower in order to reach them. 15, 10. Okay, and then Should let me get over far enough. I can put that up. There we go. And then on, again, the 4 in the middle need to be 1 higher. And I'll have to change that facing here in a second. Got the other 3 correct on the first try. Yeah, I'm just going to take out this temporary block here. Should make it easier for me to get in there the correct direction. There you go. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Alright, and now all of our pistons are in place. And we're going to need 1 more observer facing down, right like that. So this observer facing down into this observer. Now the purpose of this blue circuit is to power a sticky piston that will be facing upwards right here. And on top of that sticky piston, we need an observer that will be facing its output coming back this way. So if I just put it right there, up, see up it's facing out, and that will be the signal that will start the power on all of these pistons. And then we need one last observer right here facing down, or signal going down, because it's going to power and send the signal down to the lower pistons that we put in here. And final step, we'll take that signal off of here, run it across these, put it on that one, bring it back down here, and back to that one. I hope I didn't break anything by activating that observer, but we'll find out. And last but not least, I'm just not in the right Redstone mindset as the Redstone creators. So if someone could explain to me, he has these 2 observers who send a signal down. Rather than putting like a redstone on there or anything, what he used is an empty hopper that goes right here in between these 2 observers. Why the hopper? I don't understand that. But with that hopper in place, we should be all set for our test run. Now to activate all of this, we're going to put a temporary block right here, and we're going to put a building block right there on our blue circuit. And then we just need a button. As I said, you've probably seen similar castle gate designs in the past. They've been around for several years now. A gravity block such as sand or gravel, or in this case I use cement powder. I might switch that out with a darker cement powder just to make it blend with the tough bricks a bit more. But I did go with the cement because it gives a smoother texture than the gravel itself. It pushes the gravity blocks up, lifting the gate, and then the gravity blocks fall back down. And then when you want it to close, the top pistons push the whole thing back down, making it flush with the ground. And that's how it resets. Now the thing that is going to be a little different about this one is every other design I've seen out there just goes straight across at either 2 or 3 high. And I want to add some variability to this. I don't want it to go straight across. I want it to give a little bit of an arch when it's open. So on the sides where we have the 2 pistons that are lower, it's only going to go up 2, but the middle 4 should go up 3. And I haven't pressed this button yet, so I don't know if I followed his design correctly. So we are about to find out. Here we go. It is up. See, there we got a little bit of an arch. Nice. And when I press the end, does it reset? It does not. I am missing something here. At least while it's stuck in the upper position, you can see what I mean. Where it's now going to have a little bit of a arch instead of just being straight across. And once we decorate this all up and put in the surrounding structures, I think that's going to look really nice. But first I got to figure out what I did wrong with the reset circuit. Wait, there's a piece of this dirt block here. Dirt block I put there to make it easier to place a piston that I forgot to remove. Did I leave any other temporary blocks in here? Yep, I got another one right there. Lesson learned. Always remove your temporary blocks. There it goes, and now it closes. Alright, one more time. Let's see if this works. I hit the button. It opens. I can cross through. And then it closes. Now I noticed one thing with this is Red Ore did not do 100% of the work for me. And I think he did that on purpose. He probably wants me to try and figure it out so I can learn and get better at redstone myself. Right now that button triggers both the opening and closing mechanism on a single circuit. So if I click that, it will open, but it only stays so long as the pulse exciter at the top of the blue circuit stays on. And then when that times out, it triggers it to reclose. So I could do that. I could keep that design and use something like a calibrated skulk sensor to detect when somebody is approaching the castle, and then have it open up as we come in. Or I could set it to a daylight sensor so it's open during the day and closes at night. Or I can add in a T flip-flop junction in order to cause it to open when I press the button and then stay open until I press the button again. Or I can just leave it like that and just put a button on both sides and, just have it open and close immediately after I pass through it. Let me think on that for a little bit. But there is our castle gate up and working as far as the redstone is concerned. Now it just needs some decoration and a second one over on the far side of the ravine or valley. Well, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on a new take of doing a castle door. And I hope if you want to see it fully decorated and how it's going to fit into my base, please tune in to my next episode. Until then, have a good one, everyone.